All right, welcome to Flow Sessions, where we stay in the pocket and move with the markets. Today we are looking at Bitcoin and other markets. Let's see if this new OBS scenes I set up are working. They are, but I need to just readjust the sizing of some of these charts here. Bear with me for 1 minute here. Get set up. All right, so looking at Bitcoin, we were watching this potential 12-hour rising wedge last week, and it looks like that played out pretty well. We had 12-hour drives up into resistance, took this quick high, like I had mentioned, and we got the hourly downtrend as a sign of caution, retested, broke wedge, retest, lost 12-hour EMA 12, and down she went on a Sunday night on increasing volume. So it was a pretty clear setup. Not extremely happy with how I played it, to be honest. Did really well until the end of last week, grinding, and then didn't trade for the whole weekend until yesterday. Took a few trades and had a trade open, of course, when this happened. So our challenge account now has gone down a little bit. Let me just bring it up here. I don't want that there. All right, there we go. Here is the challenge account. We are back, still on level 12, but now we're at $82. We're at 82 profit of the 640. Not 82 profit of the 640. 82 left out of the 320 risk that we had allotted for this challenge. So I'm kind of slim on what we have left to get this going. I'm really trying to be selective about what trades I take to get this going, because I've been stuck on this level for like 2-3 weeks here. But switching back to Bitcoin here, more locally, 4-hour, we are just going sideways, so really looking like a 4-hour bear flags in the cards. A lot of times this happens too. You get these big drops, you get really weak bounces, you get 2 or 3 more drives down before you actually find a bottom. But on the daily, we are kind of at an area of support. So I'm keeping an eye on, 4-hour, hourly, 12-hour is my main time frames for this right now because of where we're at. I wouldn't be surprised too if we got to move, break this. Basically looking for a reclaim for a long down here, or you're looking to short any kind of weak bounces into 382, anything under 0.5 bibs there. So that is BTC. We also had a brush push up on dominance. We were watching the 2-day. We had, this looks like a bottom that I would think about longing, and we did get a push up, so alt's kind of suffered more on that drop. But we are running into 3-day resistance here, so this could be a flip zone and an area we want to look for longs on. Nothing really to update on total, just retest, still riding weekly EMA 12, weekly uptrend intact. We lost on that. That's interesting. We lost a 3-day head and shoulders, kind of confirming there. This is something to watch in the weekly for ETH dominance, which just means that other coins are getting some rotation. We also, if we go into the alts, some alts we're watching, I am watching and playing this AVNT name, which is on the 4-hour last night. We had new highs. I had a nice short overnight on this. We did have higher highs, no follow through. Now we are sideways here. No real hourly trend developing just yet. We have pressure coming down a bit, but we're staying shallow on the money, so there's a chance here that this could be an hourly higher low for a move up. Take a look at that. Aster's also been really strong, and this one I was playing until the hourly once that hourly EMA, first hourly EMA 12 went, had a pretty sizable pullback into this 4-hour fair value gap. Now we have a rounding out pattern here. Still seeing the retracement is healthy, didn't even get down to 382, so definitely a lead bull as well. On the 4-hour ratio chart between AVNT and Aster, we have potential 4-hour higher low, so that puts my focus on AVNT if we were to look for longs. I noticed too that AVAX, which was stronger last week, is holding pretty well on this drop, where other names are at new lows. This is just a potential daily higher low. I think we hit hourly oversold this morning on it. Take a look. Yeah, we had hourly oversold. No hourly trend yet, no trade. Mondays have been historically just really horrible for me. Big drawdown days on this challenge. You know, I've taken $2,000 drawdown days, which really put me back a good amount. So still in it, but those days really eat away at all progress you made when you're really trying to be careful and have such limited capital in this small account. It's just unacceptable to take a loss like that. 15-minute uptrend on AVAX. Yeah, 4-hour. I mean, we could just chop around here. So you just want to make sure you don't chop yourself up in these kind of conditions, because you're not riding a trend up where you're just trying to catch the next move. You really need it to prove itself, get above 4-hour EMAs, zoom out to the other time frames and make sure it makes sense if you're making attempts on these names. I've also noticed from doing these streams for myself that I say way too much, so I'm gonna work on that too. Our pride and joy Sui is just, once it gave back this much of this move up here, we had a bear flag and then just new lows. So not a good look at the higher highs that follow through. New lows kind of really similar to here. Higher high, new low. But then if you zoom out, you have lower high, lower high, lower high. See, again on the 3-day, weekly, still watching this potential EQ setting up. Don't hate it zoomed out, but zoomed in, it's kind of caused some pain here. You know, we have hopefully a monthly EQ shaping up, which is what I'm really looking to play to new highs, but there's no entry today on this. There's no entry. We'll watch it into the end of the month. Watch the daily, see if any daily trend can develop where we can get involved. We also got smoked on bio, which we were looking at last week. I had a position on it, took profits yesterday and entered here as a re-entry. So that one's not doing the best. BNB too, hit new all-time highs. And then did we have any after that happened? BNB, new all-time highs. I'll be watching first, probably 4-hour oversold on BNB, as we probably hit hourly this morning. Did we hit hourly with other names? Let's take a look. Wow. Yeah, so we had the hourly back burner too for a 4-hour higher low on BNB. Didn't really align, not 4-hour. It'd be more like 12-hour if you're out on the hourly. Yeah, so still hourly 12-hour uptrend. EMA support, but we do have some kind of climax top here because look at the volume, look at the candle, even more so than here. So it's kind of risky to long right in here right now, but we did have that hourly back burner, so I'm gonna keep this chart open today and see if anything develops from it. Doge, wow, it's back down at 24 cents. I haven't looked at this in a minute. If we go to daily, I'd be tempted, you know, watch it, but it's kind of same thing as Bitcoin, where we had not a rising wedge, where we took this high into resistance and rolled over after we had if we're in the daily downtrend and got some follow through there. So in general, not really surprising behavior for September. I just wish I kind of followed my own advice more, where I knew September was kind of going to be like this, and I could have played it better. Sometimes I just get caught up in the lower time frames, and you know, I'll be looking at like 5-minute and playing 5-minute trends and 5-minute lower highs are really tight stops. Like if I long here, I'll put a stop here and just try to get half out here and see if anything goes. And sometimes that hurts me because you're not looking at the overall larger trend, and I really need to do more of a make a plan for the week, lay my zones out, set alerts, and don't do anything unless alerts go off, because fiddling with these little scalps here and there, and it's what eats up your bankroll. Even if it's like 10-20 bucks at a time on a $1,400 account, you know, that happens 5-6 times a day, and you get one nice winner, 200 bucks, but you just gave away $60-70 in attempts on some lower time frames. It's just silly when you could just make that risk up front, give it some room to breathe, wait for something that's more in your favor, and play that. Let's take a look at Ethereum too. So ETH, just to bring it up here. ETH is, it's QQQ. ETH is, wow, kind of ugly, really ugly. For these highs, you know, I don't even really know how to digest this. Let's go to 3-day. Yeah, so 3-day was a potential EQ holding support. Broke today. Any move back up into the zone, you know, 43.50, somewhere around there, I would look for a potential SR retest. And the burden is now on bulls to prove that this isn't as ugly as it looks, and we end with some nice wicks today or something like that. Today's gonna be pretty pivotal for the rest of the week. If we just bear flag new lows and end there, it's not gonna be the best look. Got 4-hour resold on ETH too. ETH BTC doing more of the same. More of the same. The 3-day is also gonna be the guide, right? Yeah, it's the same exact thing. So overall, no big red flags, but setting some alerts here around 382. And with dominance also losing, you know, bouncing from the level we're looking at, there's a lot of things saying that there's been a little bit of character shift, and the burden's on bulls to change it before we go more aggressive on altcoin longs. Like I said, AVAX 15-minute uptrend. This is the only entry I considered this morning. You know, the stop here, targeting up here for like a 4-hour trade and be done. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at today. That's my quick overview for the week. We'll see if we can get this level finally knocked out. But now we're at 80 bucks, so we're gonna have to risk $80 to net around 900 something to beat this level. So kind of shifting the other way. Wouldn't be surprised if we fail it, which is fine, and then we'll just move on to the challenge before and treat it as a whole new entry. So anyway, that's all for today.